Alright, alright. Hello. Well, hi. Hello. I just started this live stream and I'm just gonna wait for some people to join. As I wait, I'm gonna, make some updates since this is episode 7 after all. And World War III happened in the last episode, World War III happened. Russia regained its popularity. The the collapse in my nation happened. The Dutch expanded, surprisingly. So yeah, pretty surprising. I am gonna update this at some point. I don't know why this is still here. So pretty much the Romans have just completely collapsed. Their government completely collapses. So what they're gonna do is whoa. So what they're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and sell this little part of our nation to evolution. Not all of that, but like that. All of that will be sold to evolution. Just to regain some like money. No, we need that money. Right now, after the Great Empire was kind of happening, it wasn't really going so well. But now we're gonna head up north to the Red Team, where the Red Team begins to form an empire as they go after these mini Polish nations. First, they go after, well, they more so start attacking them all at once, because they are pretty tough. So the red team begins to push in, one by one, they attack. So yeah, there's the colors. Don't know why that one looks so similar, so I'm gonna turn that one down. You see these guys get annexed. Soon enough, we see majority of the areas just somewhat completely collapsed, but this green one right here, they're actually pretty strong. So they're like kind of able to hold out. Practically. They're able to hold out, will have a holdout. As all the other nations are just getting jumped. All the other Polish nations are getting jumped. I don't like this, so that's just gonna get split between the blue team and the Dutch. Because why not? Because I didn't really like it. So that nation is forced to be put in annexation. The blue team is going to join this Polish war conflict. And yeah, they kind of start wiping these little Polish nations out as well. But soon enough, these two kind of meet up. Well, this one collapses, which leads to the surrendering of this one. So all of the Polish nations have practically collapsed, which is not good. Not necessarily the best thing. Alright, no one in chat. Pretty valid. I didn't even announce the stream. Send the peace treaty. Blue team will be eating around. I don't know. Like, we'll be annexing that and this nation down here. Just about probably everything else will go to see how this looks. Yeah, this could work. So now, yet again, the blue team and the red team are on a border. So with this happening, oh, the Bulgarians, they don't have a capital. Well, that sucks for them because the Russians, they're kind of yet still power hungry or land hungry. So they're gonna go ahead and go after Bulgaria. And what do you expect? The Bulgarians completely collapse. And they kind of just get divided between the Ottomans. Ottomans take that. Let's see here. Sparta take all this. Well, really, this is kind of a coalition type because no one really liked Bulgaria, apparently. Romania will probably take the rest. So these will be the borders now, as Bulgaria is fully annexed into like 4 nations. And as for that, we see something new happening. The British Isles have been split for like a very long time. So, but then we have this nation right here. A bunch of these areas are competing to like control the island, including like I don't know. So like as for this British area, this is like Mega Wales or something. Yeah, I'd assume this would be Wales, the Welsh Empire. The Welsh kind of take this like middle type. I don't know. The Scottish do come down and start to invade into the Welsh. But while that's happening, the Welsh are also gonna go ahead and attack these guys. But these guys also begin to attack them. But while they're attacking them, these guys capture London. But they take it back. They take half of London. So everyone else is at war with each other on the Isles, except for these guys. You might want to pay attention to these guys. So during this war, the Scottish and the Welsh kind of like keep like they can't move like right along like this point. So they just like in the peace treaty for over here, they just both annex these lands. They don't want that middle area. But the war still continues on south as these guys begin to push around. While down here, they've already knocked all this out. They knocked out most of London. But then these guys take back that, and then the Dutch come in, join the war, and they annex the rest of that. So which means with this is what kind of happens. So this is just about what happens. Like right around this. Weird board. Wonky, weird, I don't know. Just weird. Weird borders. Oh yeah, also they use London uses this tiny island as an advantage to get part of well, these guys out. So with that, they both immediately connect that they connect that area up to with their land and they cut off like that entire part. Which means these guys kind of do that. Also the Dutch annex this. The war still continues as well these guys they re-invade into Scotland, but this time they get up really near Glasgow or Classic well. However, I don't even know how you pronounce it. But then out of nowhere, the Irish that are over here begin to rebel. The Irish rebel, but they're able to keep majority of the island. They say, hey, you can have independence, but like, let us keep half of the island. You take the other half. Which they agreed to. With this, I don't even know what this is. I'm just calling this Wales because I don't know what to call it. But these guys pushed London back down to that. At this point, morale's at an all-time low for all of these countries. Except for this little guy right here. Probably like the smallest out of all of them. At this point, like, everyone is tired of the battle. They just say, hey, whoever has what lands occupied, they take. So this is practically the peace treaty for this area. This will be the peace treaty. And of course, we can't forget the Irish capital. And to remove this capital. Well, now, after these guys went, this is like the smallest. But since, like, technically, this would be, these guys would be the strongest. But we see, well, with the help of, like, the Dutch, so these guys are technically the strongest. So they just go out and snatch everyone's capitals. They just move out. These guys can't do anything. Their morale is, like, completely destroyed. So the thing that you should expect is, well, this. Very highly unrealistic, probably. But in a peace treaty, yet we see this thing. Ireland will not be getting the full Irish thing, but instead you'll be getting since the Irish are not getting all of Ireland, they'll be in return the little teal country that became super large. Instead, they'll give them the entirety of Wales for that. So the Irish gain Wales, but they lose that. And I'm just now realizing this is a whole different size. There we go. So that is the end of the wars there. Don't know why these guys have tried capitals. So yeah, this is the peace treaty. Wales is annexed by Ireland, but Northern Ireland is annexed by, well, now the British. The Scottish, they just lose land, officially. So there's now less than what there was before. As for the Dutch over here, they're not in a good shape. They're not really in good shape. Because, this is the Dutch Empire. But after all, they're not the strongest. I would. Well, I take that back. But, well, before we do that, we're gonna come over. Well, these borders are kind of terrible. I'm gonna get away from that. And, yeah, why are these borders? What are these borders I made? What are these borders actually? Borders kind of suck. I'm not the greatest at drawing borders. But, oh well, who cares? Anyways, the Dutch, they want to expand their empire. So what they do is they go on a conquest. As they first, well, Not first, more so of claim. They go after Denmark. They kind of, well, this would be the peace treaty for it. They annex Denmark. And after that, they'll go after the red team. That's a big mistake. So as they're moving right through, they're not thinking that these guys down here will attack them. So they think they're on good terms. Well, that's not the case. As right then and there, the blue team joins the war near instantly. Well, not instantly, within a couple weeks. Within a couple weeks, the Dutch get this far. But then a spearhead forms by the blue team, and the blue team forms that in a day. So this area is cut off. But this southern Swedish nation hates the Dutch for being expansionist all of a sudden. So they close this off. And with the blue team right there, they both close it off. Which now means this area is trapped. Which causes, well, you know, that to happen. The borders, well, the Dutch do making a pushback right there. Well, they do make a pushback. Sorry for talking really fast. They do make a pushback right there. The blue team, they also continue to push. But that's when, like, I don't know. What should we say? The red team and the blue team are invading into the Dutch. What's the one thing that would be terrible for the Dutch? Oh, yeah, wait. That's right. German revolts begin to form around these areas. What, German revolts and stuff? You know, German rebellions, they want to break away from the Dutch. So, yeah. We see Germanic revolts rise up. Surprisingly, Belgian too. Right around this area. Almost closing this off, but they managed to knock out the Belgians. Well, the Germanics also begin to push this way. So they're gonna try stopping the advancement of the red team and the blue team. Which it doesn't work very well, because, yeah, it just doesn't work very well. Because the Germans want to claim the German land, but the red team has occupied and blue team, so they're gonna try stopping them, but these guys are just moving way too quickly, although they do not push the red team, which creates this weird monstrosity. But the red team begins to invade into the Germanic areas and cut them off. So now they're pushed to like this. Now with that happening, the red team is also invading the Germans, which they do end up signing a treaty to not attack each other. Because right now, they have a common enemy that they're clearly cooking. So yeah. I don't even think it's possible for troops to make it this far. So right around this point, the troops kind of slow down as like when reinforcements kind of come up. So like right around this area, like all advancements just come to a halt. But that's when, for some reason, for some reason, we see that the Spanish have just made a landing over here. For some reason, they want a little colony up here, which also leads Brittany to also come up here. Well, this is the France this timeline. So France and these guys just kind of come in. Because France did have some lands over here. So they just begin to push into these lands. But the Spanish, for some reason, like kind of take all the lands they kind of want, which is the Belgian areas. So they kind of take all of this and just leave. They say, "Hey, we want all of this. We're out," which is what exactly happens as the Dutch completely collapse, and well, they didn't really invade Denmark, so the government's still kind of up here. So now, as for a peace treaty, though, we're going to be focused on the red team and the blue team first. As the red team, they'll be getting, well, some Germanic lands, which would make the Germanics mad. That's what everything the red team will be getting, including that island, and this too. And then the blue team will also be annexing some Germanic lands and Swiss. So that's everything, well, blue team will be annexing right around all this. I don't know, I'm just probably gonna mess around with these borders. I don't really like it. We do something like this. Yeah, that'd work. And as for the Spanish would be getting Spanish would be getting this. Plus, well, this area. Because this is what they wanted. Oh, what happened to your nation? Well, World War III kind of happened and you were on the winning side. So my country collapsed and you got a lot of Baltic areas. But recently, Bulgaria over here, they got jumped and your nation got land from it. And I sold this little strip of land right here to your nation. So this little strip is now part of your nation. It's after the Treaty of World War III. This was given to your nation. Well, originally it was part of mine after the peace treaty, but I sold it due to economical reasons, and the Dutch have just collapsed. Well, the Dutch Empire has collapsed. As for the French, for some reason they don't want there's like some pockets that they don't take for some reason. I don't know. So the French would take all this. Just like that. For some reason it's gonna be like that. Don't know why. French just made it look weird. And then as for the Germanics, the Germanic nation will be annexing, or they'll be taking since they were a revolt. Germanic nation will be taking all this, including up to here and that island. So this is the Dutch peace treaty. For some reason, they just made it weird. And immediately right after, this land is just split between the red team and the blue team. So these are just little enclaves. Exclave. They're just little exclaves. Enclave? I'm pretty sure it's just something that's far from it. Well, enclave? I think that's like a maritime thing. So I'm just gonna say exclave. So that's an exclave from them. And yeah. But then I'm gonna have to change the evolution's color really quick. Sorry, evolution. As we'll be seeing This is the second time that this happened. Red team and the blue team unite under one banner again, because in World War One this was disbanded, but they brought it back. Since now they're bordering each other, they just did it again. And of course they're gonna make the capital for the red teams. So yeah, the Red Blue Union has happened. This is the grand. This is empire. Well, this nation would be called. Well, I don't know actually. I don't know what to call this nation. This could be the old empire. Well, no, that's not original. Why not the Grand Empire of Königsberg? The Grand Empire of Königsberg. No, the Königsberg Empire. Yeah, that's the Königsberg Empire. Perfect. Well, no, I was on the losing side of the war. I lost like what, 95% of my land? No, I'd say maybe 88% of my land was lost. Plus, I'm about to lose more. So I lost like at the end of World War III, I lost 88% of my land mass. Just gone. Cause like before then, like I had like almost like everything stretched out except from you. Cause I didn't attack you. But I wanted some lands up in the KV Empire. Well, the fourth KV Empire. No, the third KV Empire. I wanted some, so I invaded into them, and well, let's just say KV Empire kind of, well, what do I want to call this? Kind of cooked me. That kind of got cooked, which is not good. For some reason, the KV Empire's like been in this like Egypt for like practically by now like thousands of years. But they refuse to let go of Egypt. They refuse, apparently. Now, why I say I'm gonna lose more land is because the French are kind of going on a rampage. You know, they're mad that the Normandy left the Union, so they annexed Normandy. And originally Normandy was gonna be these two, but then France said no, 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 just give it to the blue team and red team. So that's what they do, and boom, Normandy's a part of these guys now. And since the French kind of had that happen, well, they're going expansionist now. So, yeah, the French are gonna, well, also begin an invasion into me. They're going through their Napoleonic era, let's just say. They're going through their Napoleon era, and they're like the modern age. I'd say by now it's like 2010. Like in the year 2010, France finally goes Napoleonic. In the year 2010, they go Napoleon. And yeah, I was, well, I surrender. I'm gonna surrender right around here. So yeah. Oh shoot, wait, what? Well, I wouldn't think that, cause with France going on, like, whoa, the offensive and me being on defense. Right now, France is pretty strong. Probably could take you too. Just saying, they're pretty strong right now. So in the peace treaty, we see that France absolutely violates the Romans. As they take up to like, I don't know, how does this work? With that just looks weird. I don't know. I'm gonna give them this. Well, actually, I'm gonna do something like this, including these islands. So I just lost way more. Now I lost like 90% of my land. It's gone. So I have like 10% of my land, like my land left from before World War III. Also, with France going Napoleonic, technically this would be like the Austrian Empire, but this is the Königsberg Empire, which is a union between the red team and the blue team, which are here. Blue team's down here, red team's up here. Anyways, now with France going Napoleonic, we see them going well, they go after Germany, the newly formed German nation that doesn't have a capital, because they didn't even get to set up their entire country yet. But the thing is, though, the KE joins the war with Napoleon. Well, not with Napoleonic France right now, because they have war land. Well, I don't know what to say, but like that happens. The peace treaty. Surprisingly, the KE gets more land because they're claiming the lands that they wanted. They wanted something like this, as the rest of this is now French. And now the French are gonna kind of, well, uh, it's either they attack the KE. Actually, I'm gonna save their country real quick, their country border real quick. Just real quick. You know, because they are going to get invaded because their border looks weird. Make sure I have it. Alright, I'm just gonna put them out in the ocean. So this is the official borders of the KE Empire. This is the KE Empire. I want to fix up these holes actually. This is the KE Empire before Napoleon invades them. Well, before France invades them. Sure. Now we see, well, since they don't really like this area, they want, this area was just sold to Spanish because they don't want anything to do with them. But then there's this. The French want this now, but the KE Empire said, you said you didn't want that. Well, France says, now we want it. So what do? They go to war over it. Surprisingly, the KE Empire is losing badly. So bad, like they can't even push through. Like they can't do anything. They're just stuck. Like their military cannot compete with Napoleon, with the Napoleonic French Empire. I'm assuming this would be like the second French Empire. I don't know. I don't really rewatch my live streams that much. But yeah, all the mainly Germanic areas are taken, which means all the blue team areas are now gone. Although morale does slow down. which leads to, well, a pushback, like in this area. Surround all of this will be pushed back around into this front one. But the thing is, though, what the KE Empire doesn't know is let's go a little bit east. If we just go east by one country, yep, the Russians. The Russians want some land in the KE Empire because they've tried this before. Now they seize the opportunity to do it as they're pretty weak. So the capital was once again captured, and yet, yeah, not so great. Now the Russians, like, well, they just kind of surrender. But don't worry, Kaliningrad will still be here. Just different. A little bit. So in the peace treaty, we see the French Empire, well, kind of take some of these Germanic areas. Say around this. But don't worry, you'll get land out of this still. Evolution, you do get land out of this. So there's that. And then whoa. The Baltic Sea is now the KE Empire, apparently. Now the Russians will be taking, well, if I can zoom in, the Russians will be there. What? There, that's better. The Russians will be taking quite a bit. So let's make this a little bit better. Well, not better. There we go. Just straight violation. We're not done yet. I'm gonna rearrange this a little bit. So the land that you'd be getting is well, Napoleonic France. Well, France and Russia offer you that. Evolution. Well, they're offering it to you. Either take it or leave it. So do you take it or do you leave it? It's either you want it or you don't. It's up to you. Alright, so this is the peace treaty. Well, not done yet. As there are gonna be two puppet states. The Warsaw Confederation. Well, the Republic of Warsaw is this. Over here is the Republic of Warsaw, which is a French puppet. But then down over here we have a Russian puppet. Don't worry though, there's still some blue team land here. Russia, they don't take a puppet state. So let's look at a before and after. So If I can move this, maybe I can do something. So this is before France and Russia. So this is before the well, can my oh my gosh. So this is before the war happened. This is the KE Empire. Well, the KE before Russia and France invaded them. This is well, this is after they got invaded. Pretty huge land difference. Also, I put this right here because matching it. So they got pushed like their country is like way more east now. Also, I might include the puppet over here. I'm gonna include the puppet. So the puppet state will be included in this. Oh, wait, whoa. So that's after. This is the French puppet. So this is like after the war. This is what they look like after the war. This is them, and this is a French puppet. They got pretty cooked. I know it does.